What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's world title fight at 130 pounds in Texas between the champion O'Shaquie Foster and the challenger Stephen Fulton. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers, everybody who's been with me since day one. Could you guys remember to like this video? Hit subscribe. 65% of you who watch my content consistently haven't done this yet. Find the notification button on my channel so you can be notified every time I do one of my daily professional betting live streams. One more thing, join our professional VIP betting Discord. That link is pinned in the comments section below. It's a couple bucks a month. It's not just boxing. We have MMA, American football, basketball, all sports. Click that link to learn more. All right, guys, another busy week and weekend of boxing. We've been all around the world from Monaco to the US, and this fight card is a massive one taking place in Texas. We're gonna go over a world title fight between the champion Shock Foster and the challenger Cool Boy Stephen Fulton. In this video, what we're gonna do is break down both fighters' careers. We're gonna talk a little bit about how they go about their business, and like always, stay tuned to the end of the video. That's where I'll be going over the current Las Vegas odds and be giving you my prediction and telling you where to put your money. All right, guys, Cool Boy Stephen Fulton. I gotta be honest with you. In his last fight versus Brandon Figueroa, he was coming off a get-back fight, and then we remember the fight in which he was getting outgunned and he got stopped in the 8th against Naoya Inoue. The Fig fight, I actually picked Figueroa to win that fight. It was a rematch, and I give flowers when flowers are due. Cool Boy Steph had a career rejuvenating performance. He went viral for his performance. He went viral for his fight kit. We know about him rocking the replica Timberland boots in the ring with the jeans, and he looked good doing it. He showcased his high-level boxing skills, switching stances, fighting in the pocket. We saw him basically depict where he wanted that fight to take place. You got to remember, though, he got stopped against Inoue at 122. He fought Fig at 26. This fight is at 130 against the current world champion, who, in Shock Foster, we last saw him get his belt back November of 2024, over a year ago against Robson Conceição. The first time they fought, if you ask me, I was pretty shocked. It was a controversial decision. Foster loses his belt, he gets an opportunity and gets it back, and we are where we are today. This fight, everything is on the line. I also want to mention, when you're thinking about where you're putting your money, and we're going to get to the odds in the seconds, don't overlook size. Don't overlook a side. People were talking about PBC. This is a Texas fight in the state of Texas versus a hometown boy in Foster, who is a beloved Texas fighter from Houston. Fulton is the Philly kid. It's just another fun narrative to think about. The fighting town of Philly versus the fighting town of H-Town. So we'll have all these answers soon enough. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at Stephen Fulton's career and see what he's been up to. Guys, Stephen Fulton is 23-1. Of his 23 wins, 8 of them are by knockout. Of his 1 loss, he got stopped. Out of 1,770 fighters in the world, at featherweight, he's ranked number 4. He's fought a career total of 173 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 35% career knockout to win ratio. Stephen Fulton is the WBC World Featherweight Champion. The 31-year-old American is a 5'6" orthodox fighter with a 70-inch reach. He was born and raised and lives in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. We last saw him fight Figueroa the second time, 25-1-1, won a UD in the 12th. Castro, 30-2, won a split in the 10th. Inoue, 24-0, he got stopped in the 8th. Roman, 29-3, won a UD in the 12th. Figueroa, the first time, 22-0, won a majority decision in the 12th. And guys, the 2 fights before that, Kagai, we just saw fight for a world title, and Angelo Leo, who's a world champion, Fulton has beaten. So he's been in there with some really tough opponents. We've seen him go up from 22 to 26. He's going to be fighting at 30. He is a champion at 26. It's going to be really interesting to see how he deals with the size disadvantage. It's going to be Cool Boy Steph who's going to want to be on the front foot with his volume. If you're Team Fulton, you're going to have to bank on the fact that he's going to outpoint, outpunch, and depict where that fight takes place. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at Shock and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, O'Shaquie Foster's 23-3. Of his 23 wins, 12 of them come by knockout. Of his 3 losses, he's never been stopped. He's fought a career total of 170 pro rounds, carries into the ring a 52% career knockout to win ratio. He is the WBC World Super Featherweight champion. The American Orthodox fighter stands at 5'8.5" with a 72-inch reach. He was born in Orange, Texas, and calls Houston, Texas, USA home. We last saw him fight Robson Conceição the second time, 19-2, won a split in the 12th. Conceição the first time, 18-2, lost a split in the 12th. Nova, 23-1, won a split in the 12th. Hernandez, 34-1, won by stoppage in the 12th. When you look at Shock Foster's losses of the three, two of them happened early in his career as he was making his way up to fighting 12-rounders. This is a kid who's had fights at 140 pounds before. Keep that in mind. He's going to be the bigger guy. He's going to be the longer guy. I give him the boxing skills when we talk about countering, speed, power, all of this. I did a couple polls on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram channel, and you'll see them right now. And over 1,000 people voted. On Instagram, 75% are picking Cool Boy Steph to win. And on YouTube, 60% are picking Cool Boy Steph to win. I find that quite, no pun intended, shocking. I'll get to my prediction here in a second. What Foster is going to want to do is what he always does. Rely on his sharp counterboxing, his sharp angles. His backhand is really underrated. His knockout to win ratio over 50%. Doesn't jump off the paper, but he could crack as well. And he likes using that shoulder roll defense. If the knock on Foster, it's going to be his lack of output. So we're going to have to be reliant on judges in terms of what fight style optically do you like. You're going to get a guy in Fulton who's going to be on the front foot, wanting to fight in the pocket, throwing more punches, versus a guy like Foster who's going to want to make Fulton pay for his offensive mistakes and land those counter punches. Before I give you guys my prediction and take a look at the Las Vegas odds, I want to remind everyone I do daily live streams. In those live streams, we go over our weekly long parlay from all the fights throughout the world. We talk about our props, our underdog of the week, our method of victory. In these Stats Don't Lie videos, like the one you're watching now, you're only going to get my money line prediction. All right, guys, wherever you are in the world, let's pull out your betting apps. Like I've been telling you on my live streams and in these Stats Don't Lie videos the last few weeks, Australians, don't use Sportsbet. Sportsbet, if there's a draw on any fight, you lose because they force you to do three-way betting. You pick the winner, but the draw brings up the odds. So if it is a draw, you lose. Use Bet365. It's two-way betting. You pick the winner. The draw just voids the bet. On the money line, it is literally 50-50, $1.86 both ways. Whichever side you choose, 100 on whatever fighter gets you your money back, plus 86 bucks. It's literally a coin flip. On paper, I'm actually shocked. I think Foster should be the favorite here. I think Foster is the better boxer. Foster's going to have the size advantage. He's going to have the reach advantage. He's the more skilled counter boxer. If you are on Team Fulton, you're going to have to rely on that pressure, and you're going to have to rely on him landing something big to get Foster's respect. We watched Fulton get knocked out against a small 122-pound fighter. Anyway, and Fulton took place at 122. This fight's at 130. We haven't seen Cool Boy Steph win by knockout since 2019. Why is that important here? Because the minute Foster realizes that Fulton doesn't have the power to keep Foster off of him, he's not going to be using the entire ring. He's going to then stand his ground and rely on his counterboxing. And don't sleep on Foster's backhand, his straight right hand. That's the punch I'm going to be looking for. That's a great counter of his. And regarding where Fulton wants this fight to take place, in the pocket, I think his defense is leaky enough to get caught a few big times. We'll see if Foster uses his body work to set up the up top game. Only time will tell. I'm going all in on the champion at 130. I think he's going to look great in this fight. I don't want to hear about inactivity. Neither guy in the last few years have been that active, so I'm not going to really use that as a talking point to say I'm favoring this guy or that guy because one's been more active. They're both kind of similar over the last 2 years. After this fight, I'm convinced we're going to hear "and still" for Shock. You don't have to agree with me. This is not an echo chamber in the comment section below. Are we going to be looking at Cool Boy Steph as the new champion at 130 as well as 26? Either way, let me know. Also, if you haven't seen my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of another firefight on this card between Pitbull, Cruz, and Lamont Roach, stay tuned to the channel because that's coming up right now. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's British title fight at welterweight. This fight is taking place in the French Riviera, Monte Carlo, between the British champion Conor Walker taking on the undefeated Olympian in Pat McCormack. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Could you also like this video? Hit the notification button on my channel so you never miss one of my daily live streams. Also become a member of our Johnny Says Boxing VIP Insider Professional Betting Discord. That link is pinned in the comments. Click that to find out more. Speaking of that Discord, I have 3 levels of membership. This video is from a level 2 member. He asked me weeks ago to feature this British firefight. So this video and breakdown and analysis of Walker versus McCormack is for you. All right, guys, we have a massive week of fights all across the board, from boxing to the UFC. We'll get to MMA later on in the week. To remind all you guys, that Discord isn't just boxing and MMA, NFL, NBA, racing, soccer, hockey, so definitely get involved. We're on quite the hot streak with our NFL and NBA prop parlays, as well as continuously eating with our boxing channel. So right now what we're going to do is break down this very fun firefight between the undefeated Pat McCormack and the British champion Conor Walker. Walker is a savage. This is a guy with a very fan-friendly style, on his front foot, takes one to give one, always in exciting fights. Although he's not undefeated, he has a handful of losses. He's never been stopped. He does have that British Commonwealth belt around his waist. He's taking on a guy in the UK that some would say has been groomed to become a world champion. We know that one of those belts at 147 is held by Lewis Crocker, a guy that Conor Walker fought very tough. When you think about McCormack, he's a guy who feels that he would have handled Crocker. He thinks he's going to handle Conor Walker. He's going to be the more technical boxer. He could crack. He's going to be the less experienced, so there will be questions that are answered. Will this step up be too much for Pat McCormack, or has he been bred all along for these bright lights? In this video, what we're going to do is break down both fighters' careers. We're going to talk a little bit about how they go about their business, and like always, stay tuned to the end of the video because that's where I'm going to be going over the current Las Vegas odds, and I'll be telling you where to put your money. Guys, Conor Walker is coming off 2 very impressive stoppage victories, one over Harry Scarf and the other over Liam Taylor. This guy is never out of a fight, and if you're not bringing your lunch pail, if your cardio isn't in place, if your mind isn't switched on, he's going to get one over on you, and more as of late, he's going to stop you. This makes Conor Walker one of the UK's most exciting fighters, and he's only a fight or 2 away of his ultimate goal of fighting for a world title. In his opponent, the guy has more prestige in terms of an amateur background. Say what you will, silver medalist at the Olympics. Pat McCormack is a guy who feels that he does everything better than Conor Walker. He feels that he's going to use that front foot pressure style against Walker. He thinks he's going to be able to counter him and use his power to eventually get him out of there. So this is going to be a very interesting fight. Is Pat McCormack ready for this professional style? Is his boxing acumen, his skill set going to be enough to get past the very tough Conor Walker? We'll see. These odds are pretty wide if you ask me. Before we get into the odds and we talk a little bit about where to put your money, I do want to take a closer look at the British champion's career and see what he's been up to. Guys, Conor Walker is 16-3-1. Of his 16 wins, he has 7 of them by knockout. Of his 3 losses, he has never been stopped. Out of 2,662 fighters in the world at 147, he's ranked number 35. He's fought a career total of 127 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 44% career knockout to win ratio. The 30-year-old Brit is an orthodox fighter, and he lives in Wolverhampton, West Midlands, United Kingdom. We last saw him fight Liam Taylor, 28-2, stopped him in the 7th. Harry Scarf, 13-3, stopped him in the 11th. Ritson, 23-4, won a UD in the 10th. Crocker, 19-0, lost to UD in the 10th. Germain, 9-0, stopped him in the 3rd. In his most recent loss, few fights ago, and Lewis Crocker, he went the distance with him. That is a fight that he's taking into this fight, all things considered, We just saw Lewis Crocker become a world champion with his win over Paddy Donovan. So you have to think a guy in Conor Walker is comfortable with his style, he's confident in his skill set, and he feels that the lack of experience in his opponent McCormack is going to be his undoing. He feels that McCormack won't be able to handle that pressure, and he's going to melt under the bright lights. This is going to be something to watch. One of my major issues with Conor Walker is his defense, or lack thereof at times. His willingness to engage in a firefight. At the same time, this is why his fans love him, and this is why this fight was made. We'll see if that durability holds up and continue on his winning ways with his hopes of becoming a world champion. Right now, let's take a look at the former Olympian and see what he's been up to in his pro career. Pat McCormack is 8-0. Of his 8 wins, 6 of them come by stoppage. Out of 2,662 fighters in the world at 147, he's ranked number 36. He's fought a career total of 45 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 75% career knockout to win ratio. The 30-year-old Brit is a 5'8" orthodox fighter. He was born in Sunderland, but calls Washington, Tyne and Ware, United Kingdom, home. We last saw him fight Miguel Parra, 25-5, stopped him in the 9th. Davies Jr., 24-5, stopped him in the 6th. Herrera, 16-3, won a UD in the 10th. Dixon, 14-4, stopped him in the 4th. Sochi, 15-7, stopped him in the 8th. So when you look at his resume, Parra, Davies, he's only 8-0, doesn't even have 50 pro rounds, but he hasn't really had an easy slate to get to where he's gone. This will only be his 9th pro fight, and my hesitation lies in a sort of pattern that we've seen over the last year in professional boxing. We've seen these Olympians come into these massive fights, these guys with under 15 pro fights fighting these veterans, and the Olympians being these huge favorites, and time again, we've seen upsets. We saw Frankie Rod come to the UK and beat Galal Yafai. We saw just recently in Turkey, Albert Badr Ghazi being a massive favorite against Jazza Dickens, and Jazza upsetting the odds. We saw it in France with Sumi Umaha. So my hesitation is just that repetitive pattern of behavior. We've seen this. Conor Walker being a massive underdog here, I think is a bit unfair. Pat McCormack, if we're looking at things technically under a microscope, he's going to be the more sound fighter. Doesn't have a lot of pro experience, but the kid could crack, and styles make fights. Stylistically, when we see how Conor likes to operate and we match this with the Olympian, it's going to make for an exciting matchup. There's a prop bet that I really like in this fight. You're going to have to tune into my live streams to get that prop, and you're going to have to join the Discord to get all of my method of victories. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at those Las Vegas odds. Guys, remember, I do go live every single day, so make sure you hit the notification button and you never miss it. In this Stats Don't Lie video series, you guys are only going to get my money line prediction. So all right, guys, wherever you are in the world, let's pull out our betting apps. Remember Australia, I have switched over to Bet365 because Sportsbet, my former book, the draw ruins your entire ticket. We just saw this take place this past weekend. We saw a draw, and fortunately for us, using Bet365, our tickets stayed live. I'm talking about that Cameron Vong rematch fight. So right now on the money line, Conor Walker, the veteran, the British champion, plus 550 dog. 100 on Walker gets you your money back, plus 550 bucks. McCormack is the favorite, $1.11. 100 on McCormack gets you your money back, plus $11. The odds makers are showing zero respect for Conor Walker. Is he a live dog? Yes. Are these odds too wide in my opinion? Yes. I think it should be more like a 2 or 3 to 1, but the bookies say differently. It's more like a 5 to 6 to 1. They must not like that defense on Conor Walker, how often he gets hit in relation to the power that Pat McCormack and the skill set he's bringing into this fight. Right now on the money line, I'm going to take the Olympian. I feel he's ready for this moment. I think his class is going to be too much. I think his power is going to be too much. And I think that he's going to get Conor Walker walking onto something. In order to get my prop bet, because there is a juicy one in this, you're going to have to join the Discord. Guys, this is not an echo chamber. This is a fun firefight. Like I said, I feel the odds are a bit off. In the comment section below, let me know who you're rolling with. Is it going to be and still for Conor Walker or and new for Pat McCormack? Also, guys, massive week in the UFC. We have that massive card in the United States, Pitbull versus Roach. Alam Hanalei is taking on Lara for the world title at 160. We have another massive card as well in Australia, headline with Jaya Pataya. So stay tuned to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's interim world title fight at 140 pounds between Cruz and Roach. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? My YouTube analytics are telling me that 65% of you guys who watch my content on a consistent basis hasn't done that yet, so please do that. Also, find the notification icon, click that so you never miss one of my world famous daily live streams. In those live streams, I break down all of the upcoming boxing fights. I take your questions and we go over our parlays, props, method of victories, and money line bets. One more thing, guys, join our private pro bettors Discord. That link is pinned in the comment section below. It's only a couple bucks a month. Click to find out more. All right, guys, we have a massive week ahead of us in boxing. There's fights all over the world. We already on the channel covered a fight taking place at Monte Carlo, Monaco between two Brits. That fight is going to be a firefight at 147 pounds. We have the card in Australia with Jai Apataya and a fully stacked card. And this one right here is equally stacked. This one is in America and Texas. Headline by Pitbull, Cruz, and Roach. That is the video we're going to be diving into today. So in this video, what I'm going to do is break down both fighters' careers. We're going to talk a little bit about how they go about their business, and stay tuned to the end of the video. Like always, that's where I'll be going over the current Las Vegas odds, and I'll be telling you where to put your money. Say that this card is stacked would be an understatement. It's an early Christmas present for us boxing heads. We have a world title fight at 160 pounds, a unification fight between Janibek Elimhanaleh and the never-aging Arislani Lara. We have Shane Mosley Jr. taking on Jesus Ramos. This will be Ramos's first fight at 160 pounds. We also have the return of the Ghost, Frank Martin, taking on Rances Barthélemy. And haven't even mentioned it yet, a very exciting fight between Shock Foster and Cool Boy Stephen Fulton. But in this video, we're going to be breaking down Pitbull versus Roach. We last saw Pitbull Cruz. He's coming off a couple decision victories. More recently over Omar Salcido and Angel Fierro. With Roach, we last saw him in his mega fight against Tank Davis. That fight was at 135. We have to remember, Roach fought up until that fight at 130, and this is for the interim strap at 140. The fight with Tank put Roach on the map, had him break through, per se, past the hardcore diehard fans like myself and into the casual fandom. A lot of people had no idea who Roach was on the surface, and after that Tank fight, they learned who he was. A high-skilled, excellent fighter. Comes from a good camp, great counter boxer, long, and he's another one of these guys who's coached by his father. And his opponent, Pitbull Cruz, is another one of these athletes who is coached by his father. So that is a narrative going into fight week as well. Father and father, son versus son. We've seen the marketing. We've seen the storylines. It just adds another element to this very exciting showdown at 140. If we said styles make fights and contrasted styles is what we look for in boxing, we're definitely talking about this fight with Pitbull Cruz, 5'4", orthodox slugger. He's going to give you both shoulders. He's going to be on the front foot. He's going to be slugging, dipping, and tucking. He's going to be going up and under. A little bit of a hint of that classic Mike Tyson customado peekaboo style. He wants to put his head on your chest and throw those hooks over the top. Roach is going to be operating a little bit differently. He's going to want to use his range, use his reach, use his height advantage. He's also going to want to use his punch arsenal, punch placement, and his catch and counterings as well. So when you got a guy on the front foot chasing a guy down against an opponent who has precision, accuracy, and great countering, who knows what's going to happen? Is this a 50-50 fight? In my opinion, 100%. The odds almost say the exact same thing. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at Roach, see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Roach is 25-1-2. Of his 25 wins, 10 of them come by knockout. His one loss was a decision loss. He is ranked in BoxRec's algorithm at 135 pounds. Out of 2,613 fighters there, he's ranked number 8. He's fought a career total of 184 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 40% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as the Reaper, and the 30-year-old American is a 5'7" orthodox fighter with a 68-inch reach. He was born in Washington, D.C. and calls Upper Marlboro, Maryland, USA home. We last saw him fight Gervonta Davis, 30-0, majority draw in the 12th. McCrory, 16-0, won by stoppage in the 8th. Garcia, 16-1, won a split in the 12th. Rodriguez, 20-1, won a UD in the 12th. Rene Alvarado, 32-10, won a UD in the 10th. With Lamont Roach, you're going to get a bag filled with skills. You're going to get a guy who grew up in a gym, lifelong boxer, deep connection to his father, saying that he's really coachable. Come with a fine-tuned, excellent game plan. We saw that on full display against Tank Davis. He was one of the first guys to stand toe-to-toe with Tank and not let Tank walk him down. He was also one of the first guys we got to see to catch and counter Tank and return fire with fire. And, you know, granted, we haven't seen Tank fight since, but you'd have to think he put a blueprint out there for future Gervonta Davis opponents on how to be competitive with Tank Davis. Lamont Roach is going to want to use his height advantage. He's going to want to use his reach advantage. And we're going to see if his timing is on point early. We're going to see if he's going to be able to manage distance and keep Pitbull at range. He's going to definitely want to walk Pitbull onto things and catch him and create his angles. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. I don't expect a feeling out process in this fight with everything that's at stake, where these two guys, the trajectory of both men, this fight is for an interim strap at 40, so the winner's putting themselves in position to become another divisional world champion. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at the former world champion, Pitbull Cruz, and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Isaac Cruz is 28-3-1. Out of his 28 wins, 18 of them are by way of knockout. Of his 3 losses, all of them were by decision. He's ranked in BoxRec's algorithm at 140 pounds, and out of 2,747 fighters there, he's ranked number 26. He's fought a career total of 180 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 64% career knockout to win ratio. He is the WBC Interim World Super Lightweight Champion. His adoring fans know him as Pitbull, and the 27-year-old Mexican is a 5'4" orthodox fighter with a 63-inch reach. He was born and raised and lives in Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. We last saw him fight Gomez, 20-2, won a UD in the 10th. Fierro, 23-2, UD in the 10th. Rayo Valenzuela, 13-2, he lost a split in the 12th. Rolly Romero, 15-1, won by stoppage in the 8th. Gio Cabrera, 21-0, won a split decision in the 12th. So with Pitbull Cruz, in my opinion, you have a mixed bag of results dating all the way back to Gervonta Davis. At the time, he made headlines becoming one of the only guys to ever fight Tank and not lose by knockout, lost a decision. Since then, a lot of the Pitbull fans have been screaming for that rematch. We know that hasn't happened yet. Since then, we've seen him win split decisions. We've seen him lose split decisions. We've seen him win by knockout. This guy, all in all, is a nightmare for a lot of his opponents. He's going to come at you right from the get-go, thus his name Pitbull. He never has the size advantage. His power is interesting. We've seen him use one-punch power before, but we've also seen him drown his opponent before. There's nothing that he's going to do, though, that Roach hasn't seen. If you had to say that you could game plan for Pitbull Cruz, you'd be comfortable saying that. Now, there's one thing with expecting something, and there's another thing with being able to stop it, and that will be the most important narrative going into fight night. Pitbull is going to do what he's going to do. Roach and Team Roach knows what Pitbull is going to do, and the biggest question is, will Roach be able to negate that pressure, get Pitbull's respect, and keep him off him enough to win a fight? Now, will it go the distance? Will it be a stoppage? Your guess is as good as mine. In these videos, these Stats Don't Lie series, I only give you my money line prediction. For you to catch my props, method of victories, long parlays, click the link that's pinned in the comment section. Right now, I'm going to be going over the Las Vegas current odds and giving you my money line prediction only. Guys, wherever you are in the world, let's pull out those betting apps. Australians, do not use Sportsbet. I tell you guys every live video. Time will pass and I will no longer have to say this. On Sportsbet's betting app, if you pick a winner or a loser and it's a draw, you lose your bet. So use Bet365 like myself. The draw just simply voids the fight and your parlay stays active. On the money line, Cruz is a $2.80 underdog. 100 on him gets your money back plus 180. Lamont Roach is a $1.43 favorite. 100 on Roach gets your money back plus $43. So Isaac Cruz, not quite a 2-1. I think those odds are similar. They could go either way. Roach could be a 2-1 dog as well. I think this is a 50-50 fight. When we think about what have you done for me lately, recency bias, a lot of the odds makers, a lot of the money coming in on Roach is because what we saw against Tank Davis, that high-level version of Lamont Roach, that accuracy, those reactions, the speed, the timing, and those backhand counters were all beautiful. With Pitbull Cruz, he's coming off a couple decision victories like I told you. When we hear his name comes with the cheering section, the crowd, the aura. He's the bigger name. He is the A-side in this fight. So it's going to be interesting to see off jump how this plays out, where I'm putting all my money on the money line. I'm taking my boy from DC, Lamont Roach. I like the juice. $1.43 is pretty decent to add to a parlay. As we get closer to fight night, I'm going to give you my method of victory prop. You're going to have to join the Discord to get that. Those odds almost double on that prop bet. So all in on Roach to beat Pitbull Cruz. I think he's going to be the classier fighter. I think he's going to use his reach and his height and his length and distance management to beat Pitbull Cruz. I think Pitbull Cruz's aggression is going to be used against him. And I totally expect the same version we saw against Tank, if not another version of Roach, to further project him onto the world stage. Guys, this is not an echo chamber. I know a lot of us will not be agreeing on this fight, but that is okay. In the comments section, let me know. Team Roach, Team Cruz. Also, guys, stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to be breaking down this entire card. If you haven't seen my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of the fight that's taking place at 147 pounds in Monte Carlo, Monaco, between two really exciting British fighters, stay tuned because that's coming up right now.